device. His corpse was almost perfectly preserved.
Okay, so this first speech is going to be about gun violence and how it's changed and formed in the last 12 years in America. So first, I just wanted to show this little artifact. This is a school zone, not a war zone, and this will tie in later in the speech. For now, I want to run through a little poll. If you agree, just put a thumbs up. If you don't agree, just leave it blank. So put a thumbs up if you grew up in America. 2 of us, okay. Put a thumb up if you had active shooter drills in school or workplaces. 3 thumbs up, okay. Put a thumbs up if you were ever worried about your school or workplace being a victim to gun violence. No thumbs up. Oh, 2, okay. Put your thumb up if you know someone who is either involved in or victimized by gun violence. 2 thumbs up, okay. And then put a thumb up if you have ever been victimized yourself by gun violence, if you've ever been involved in a shooting, any of the above. No thumbs up, okay. So when I was in high school, specifically my sophomore year, the Miami Marjory Stoneman Douglas mass shooting had happened. It wasn't the first mass shooting, nor was it even the first school shooting, but it rocked the state of Florida and subsequently the country. 17 children were murdered and hundreds were scarred for life. This wasn't surprising. Besides the initial shock of it, mass shootings have taken on a culture in America. We had a school shooting drills in elementary school. My classmates and I had hiding spots and plans of action in every single classroom. We knew that in the event of a school shooting, we may not all survive. Quite harrowing in the 7th grade. A brief history of America's gun violence. According to the Pew Research, in 2020, the most recent year for which complete data is available, 45,222 people died from gun-related injuries. Every Town for Gun Safety reports 1 in 4 mass shooting victims were children and teens. 1 in 3 mass shootings involved a shooter that was legally prohibited from possessing firearms at the time of the shooting. And assault weapons led to 6 times as many people shot per mass shooting. 2020 saw 611 mass shootings in the US, according to Gun Violence Archive. Mass shootings occur more frequently in the United States than any other comparable countries, with some of the most lethal incidents occurring in just the last few years, according to Stephen Marino. Marino continues discussing the correlation between religion and gun violence and gun ownership, as he says many studies suggest a link between evangelicalism and gun ownership. The more conservative an individual is, the more likely they are to either own a gun and or be a member of the NRA. Using nationally representative data from the Ad Health study, researchers show that evangelical Protestant adolescents in the United States are more likely to have an easy access to gun at home compared to adolescents in other religious groups. This is not to blame evangelicals or Christians or say that they are the reason why this happens, but it does point out a more prominent pattern within society of belief correlating with cause. Marino goes on and he discusses that evangelical Protestant emphasis on individual autonomy and self-sufficiency corresponds with a preference for less government involvement and interference in individuals' and families' lives, and individuals who are to blame or credit for outcomes rather than broader social circumstances or social cultural factors. Essentially, evangelicals believe it's the person doing the killing, not the gun doing the killing, and the government shouldn't really have any overstep as to whether people should own firearms or not altogether. How has the law kept up with this epidemic? Part of the reason why it's so difficult to keep up with and to even frankly understand gun laws is because they're at a federal and state level. Thus far, there has been no federal gun control position or implementation in a minimum the last 5 years. There's been nothing coming out saying, hey, we need more or less gun control. They're just kind of, yeah, go. It is legal to conceal in all 50 states. At a state level, each one has different positions on open versus concealed carry. As of January 24th, 2022, Florida lawmakers filed a bill to make Florida an open carry state. That bill has not passed. We don't have any new information on it. It's just a bill that was filed. What is their current political groundings when it comes to gun control, or at least minimizing gun violence and its effects? Gun control, obviously, is a larger than life debate. And tied with the healthcare system, victims of gun violence have no special incentive to treatment for mental or physical health. And this doesn't change in the systemic playground. There's no laws saying that they deserve therapy, that they deserve free healthcare, none of that. Victims of gun violence are essentially left to fend for themselves and receive care as far as their pocketbook will take them. For many Americans, that isn't far at all. So we have a gun problem. Evidently, handheld killing machines have become and remain the silent epidemic. But the repercussions of gun violence are anything but silent. Mothers and fathers, siblings, families feel the ricochet of murders via handheld killing machines. Unfortunately, all we can do is petition and actively speak up for laws to change and elect representatives who share their same ideals. How many more people need to die before we change? Thank you.